Good morning, guys. Welcome to Clickbait and Coffee. It's Jason. Today is Tuesday. What is it? May 13th. Glad to have everybody in here. Guys, it's going to be a nice day, I think. So I'm running a few minutes behind. Got a bunch of stuff to do today. We'll work it like we usually do. Tell me what y'all got going on, that kind of stuff. I want to talk to y'all, know what's happening with y'all. But we got a hell of a storm last night, rain and everything else. It's sloppy, nasty, wet, and I'm just like, I'm over the rain. Good morning, Greg. Greg, what are you working on today? But we'll start off. First thing this morning, tickets. If you need tickets for the festival, go and get your tickets at KentuckySustainableLiving.com. Also, go check out First Aid and Medical Supplies. Morning, Shelly. Go check out our First Aid and Medical Supplies. Everything is in stock, ready to ship, and you can get your stuff there. So, also, they do still have spots for the Refuge Medical class that you can sign up. Go to the website, and at the very top of the screen, there's a red banner. You can click on it. It will take you to Refuge's site to where you can. It'll take you straight there to where you can sign up for that class. That class is a freaking amazing price, honestly. It's $200. That's less than half of what it usually is if you go to Oklahoma and take that class. So it's an amazing deal. We wanted to keep it as cheap as we could for people coming. So. All right, we got that out of the way. I've got yesterday, Monday, we're working on a bathroom. Of course, I'm a general contractor, so we got a bathroom remodel that we're working on. Good morning, Miss Sharon. Thanks for coming in. But we got a master bath remodel we're working on. And on the shower, it's got a little L-shaped knee wall for the shower that the glass is going to sit on. And when you order your shower glass, good morning, Hatfield and Homestead. Before you can order your shower glass, you have to have all the tile, everything done with the shower so they can measure for the glass. Because you get one chance on that glass. Once they cut the glass and temper it, you can't cut it anymore. It's just pretty much done. So you get one shot on measuring and cutting that glass. So last week I'd ordered the pieces of marble that go on top of the knee wall. There's two pieces. One of them, they're cut on a 45 where they'll go together. All my granite guy is in Owensboro because they do amazing work. So the girl called me on Friday and said, hey, your pieces will be ready. I was like, all right, I'll come pick them up Monday morning. So I run up to Owensboro Monday morning, first thing, grab all the pieces, scoot back, and go to put those two pieces on that knee wall. And I started looking, I'm like, the damn thing's a ½ inch short. So I wanted to make sure. I went back and looked at the measurements. I'd sent them and everything and approved. And it was a ½ inch short. Good morning, Oops. But so I'm looking, and I called the granite place. I'm like, hey, these things are one of them's a ½ inch short. So I had to send her, a picture of all this and everything. And she's like, we'll get those cut, and we'll get that other piece cut, and then hopefully it's going to be ready today. So it just really kind of pissed me off. And the thing is, I went ahead and allowed a 1/4 inch extra so I could trim the thing off where I needed it, because I've got all the equipment to cut marble and granite and polish the ends and all that. So now when I get done with this, I've got to drive back to Owensboro to pick up a piece of marble and then come back here and set those pieces. So then I can get the shower glass guy to come out Wednesday. So it's just stupid stuff like that. It's aggravated the crap out of me that I have to make another. I mean, Owensboro's an hour and 10 minutes up there and back. So you can figure by the time you pick it up and do all that, you're going to be a 3-hour trip up there and back. So it's just, I mean, there's a 30-year day gone. It just irks me the time I've got to spend doing that. So, hey, we've got a fair amount of people in here. What did y'all get done over the weekend? What are y'all planning to do today and the rest of the week? I would like to know. So, and then I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day. Sunday was Mother's Day. Saturday, we went down to my parents' house. Me and my wife and my youngest one, and my brother came down. We got dinner for mom and dad. Went down there Saturday afternoon, ate dinner, hung out with my parents for a few hours, and then came back here and relaxed the rest of Saturday. And then Sunday was actually halfway nice, and we didn't have any rain on Sunday. So I took Sunday to to fix the fence in the neighbor's field. I got down there, a tree had fallen on part of that, and I just had poly wire on there, and I'm done with poly wire. Poly wire after about a year, just it starts getting brittle and it just sucks. And with the hair sheet, there's not enough metal in that poly wire to really shock those sheep good. So I'm switching everything over to real metal wire for our electric fence. So I got the tree cut, pushed out of the way, and then I started looking. I'm like, honeysuckle, because we hadn't grazed over there since last year. So the honeysuckle had taken over a bunch of this poly wire, and it was busted and broken and everything else. So I'm like, forget it. I yanked all 3 strands of the poly wire out and rolled it all up. And then I had to take on one side of that, I had to take the tractor and honestly go in there and start pushing the stinking honeysuckle out of the way. That stuff was so thick in there. So I got everything pushed out of the way, and I went ahead. I'm going to try it with 2 strands of electric fence in the neighbor's property. So I got 2 strands of that set up and ready to go, and the field's divided and everything. So I'm going to run those guys, probably put them out there tomorrow morning. I've got to hook the fence charger up, which that won't take but just a minute. So I'm going to do that and get them out there where they can graze on that and not eat every bit of grass that I've got over here growing on my place. So, and yes, Miss Sharon, rain, and more rain. That's we've got a chance of rain today. It's like 60% chance of rain here again today. And then I think Friday and Saturday, we're going to have a chance of rain. And Shelly cleaned out the garden beds and had a baby shower for one of our daughters. Yeah, I saw some of the pictures on the baby shower. Hoping to get a compost pile started when I get home tonight before we get more rain. I thought about honestly kicking the chicken tractor on meth back up, but I'm down on stinking chickens. I've got to get some more chickens, honestly. I've had 2 or 3 die, and I've got to pick some more up. And I've got one of my friends, I was talking to them, and they've got some that'll be ready pretty soon. So probably after I get those chickens, I'll start the chicken tractor on meth back up. And oops, I gave up on poly on all my animals. Yeah, it does just not shock. It doesn't shock like it should. I just don't. Especially when the sheep have a winter coat on them, they can just walk right through that poly, and I'm just like, this sucks. So, Tactical Muffin Top, good morning, buddy. How are you? And yeah, Greg said keep the rain down there. Hey, we're trying to. So, and oops, it's staying wet here in Tennessee. Can't get anything done. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like you just can't get anything done. And when you do, you're just sopping wet from doing all that stuff. It's just not fun whatsoever. And Shelly, I'm going to do the 18-day method today. I've thought about it. I really need to start doing some more compost. I just hadn't had time. I might this weekend get a pile going. But I tell you what, the stinking strawberries are coming in like nobody's business. But we've got so many freaking rabbits this year. I don't know what it is. Every time you turn around, you'll see a stinking rabbit somewhere on the property. And they're going down there. And what really pisses me off, they go down there and they take like 1 or 2 bites out of a strawberry and then move on. I'm like, I'd be cool if you ate the whole strawberry and left some more. So we're probably going to shoot some rabbits. honestly. I'll probably go ahead and kill a bunch of rabbits and just feed them to the dogs. I'm just tired of them eating all my strawberries. But strawberries are coming in great. I've got to get down there and pick some of them and get that done. Get those in the freezer, and or freeze dry a bunch of them. I hadn't decided. I'll probably freeze dry a bunch. Lincoln absolutely loves freeze dried strawberries. So, and oops, mostly up to the knees in mud. Yeah, it seems like there's mud everywhere, and it is just stupid ridiculous on spots. I know spots out here, especially at the barn, it's just muddy as all get out. So, Bill, good morning. Bill, what have you gotten done this past little bit? You're always got something going on. So, oops, got a lot of rabbits around here, and all of a sudden too. Yeah, it seems like this year we have just got massive amounts of rabbits, and I do not know why. I mean, at night, I've pulled in down by the shop at night, and your headlights will go across in front of the shop, and like 5 or 6 rabbits will just run everywhere, and I'm like, where are all these stupid rabbits coming from? I came yesterday or the day before, I was taking the pallet forks off the tractor and going to hook the bucket up, and I went to hook the bucket up and hit the bucket, and darn 3 or 4 baby rabbits came running out, and I'm like, what in the crap? So Miss Sharon, all the animals had to flee the fires. Which fires? The fires, what, in the Carolinas and stuff? We hadn't had any fires here. So I think it's just a good year, a good breeding year for rabbits is probably what it's going to be. So, Twin Oaks Family Farm, good morning. Glad to have you in here. Yeah, oops, got red eyes everywhere. Yeah, that is. It's just like anytime you shine a light, it's just boom. So, Bill, let's see. I've been busy trying to take care of 2 places. I'm farm setting for my partner. Yeah. Oh, you're still farm setting that? I tell you what, farm setting and trying to do stuff at 2 places, that will run somebody ragged for sure. So, and then I tell you, last night yesterday afternoon, we were supposed to have a baseball game. So we're driving to the ball field, and I'm looking, and I'm like, we're going to get rained out. I was like, it's going to pour rain, and we're not going to get to play. So we get there to the ball field, sitting in the parking lot. I'm looking, I'm like, this storm is coming through. I'm like, I wish they would just go ahead and call the game. So we're sitting there waiting, and you see some lightning. So we've got a group chat going and stuff like that, and they're like, well, we got a 30-minute delay because of lightning. So the rules are every time they see lightning, it starts over the 30-minute delay. So as we're sitting there waiting, it just comes an absolute piss-pouring flood of rain. And then the umpires are sitting there, and they're like, the umpires and the field staff, and they're like, well, let's give it 30 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and play. So we get up there. The infield is flooded with water. Home plate's covered in water. They're trying to get the water out of the way. They spend like 30 or 45 minutes doing this, and then they're like, well, we're not going to play. I'm like, why in the hell did we sit up here for like an hour and wait to see if we're going to play when we knew we weren't going to play? I'm like, that's an hour that I could have been doing something else, and we just sat here and wasted an hour of my life. Now, granted, I love watching the kids play baseball, super enjoy it, but it's like, call the game and let's go home and reschedule this instead of just sitting up here. It's like people don't value your time. I could have got a ton of stuff done in that hour that I was just sitting there waiting, as opposed to sitting there watching them rake water off the infield. So yeah, that since we're caught up on that, that's what we've got going. But yeah, guys, put some stuff in chat. What have y'all got planned? I like to know that kind of stuff, and give me some stuff. I've got a couple news articles we'll kind of hit on and see what's going on with that. I'll give you my take on it. I'm drinking Body Armor this morning. I like Body Armor better than anything. I will usually drink either Body Armor in the morning or in Liquid IV in the morning. Like that, love them. I don't drink Gatorade very much, just don't really like Gatorade. I'd rather have Body Armor, honestly. But All right, new stuff. Apparently, the U.S. and China have come to a 90-day trade agreement on the tariffs. So this is a 3-month pause on all the tariffs that or the 140 and 125% tariffs. All right, we brought it down. The U.S. and China had come to an agreement for 90 days until they can work something out permanently, is apparently what's going to happen. All right, there is a 30% tariff on Chinese goods. So anything coming from China is going to have a 30% tariff on it, as opposed to the 145% that was placed on there. And then there's a 10% tariff on U.S. goods going to China, and it was 125%, I think. So we got that. And then also, China had cut off exports of rare earth minerals to the United States. They have stopped doing that. They're going to keep exporting rare earth minerals to the United States. So that's going to help out a lot until we can get our rare earth mineral mines up and running more than what they are. I mean, I think we need to be self-sufficient on that stuff. I think we need to go ahead. The whole thing is drill, baby, drill. I think we should mine, baby, mine on all of it, honestly. So, and then of course the stock market, after this was announced, the stock market shot up. I think the stock market shot up almost 1,200 points yesterday after the agreement was announced. So that's good. We'll see what happens after the 90-day period. But also, I mean, and now this goes along with the supply chain shortages that people are talking about. Walmart, Target, Home Depot had talked to Trump a couple weeks ago saying, hey, we're going to have shortages. I think all the boats that were inbound from China have already docked. So we're looking, everything's resolved, but there's still a supply chain issue. If all the boats have already docked, that means that they're going to have to bring more, that the boats, there's nothing en route. So we still might have a small supply chain shortage on stuff coming from China, because I think it's going to take, I think if they're coming from China to the West Coast, I think it's still going to take 2, maybe 3 weeks is like the shortest time. That's if the boat's loaded and ready to pull out of harbor and get here. I think somebody said it was going to take like 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. So there still might be some supply chain shortages on that. Guys, tell me your thoughts. What do you think about the tariffs and the deal that was struck? I think it's fine, but if you're going to do, the whole point of doing the tariffs was to get foreign, Chinese goods on par with American goods as far as price wise. So I don't know if people can still get cheap Chinese goods, if that's going to help the American manufacturers go ahead and do that. I know a lot of people are going to go with the cheapest option no matter what, and I understand that. Some people were like, yes, I will pay more for American made goods, and I will do that. So we'll kind of see. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know about that. And I want to hit some of the comments real quick. Twin Oaks Farm, we're taking about 45 hens to auction tomorrow, gradually getting out of egg sales by August. Hey, I do, like I said, I need to get some more hens. I probably need to get up. I want to get at least 10 or 12 more and run a pretty good flock with that. Bill Warner, taking care of my partner's farm is a swamp. He has almost 2 acres of orchard. We're going to get a swamp full of fruit. We're going to swap his fruit for our meat protein. He's really good at orchard farming, and I'm better at vegetables and meat. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way people need to do. That's the way we did it, across the board. Years back, our grandparents and stuff would trade people what they needed and stuff like that. Local prepper, hey, buddy, good to have you here. Regardless of current or past tariffs, prices will increase up to 3% higher starting late next month. Yeah, I mean, prices are always going to go up on stuff. I mean, And we've still got a 30% tariff on the Chinese goods coming in. So we didn't get out of it all the way. But 30% is a heck of a lot better than 145%. So, oops. Yeah, like we need to import more lumber from Sweden. Just stupid to import when we have trees here. Yeah, I mean, now we do. I do know we import a ton of lumber from Canada, which that's not that bad. And you kind of got to look at it. Do we want to cut all our trees and stuff like that? I mean, we don't want to just cut everything we've got. I don't mind importing some stuff from Canada. That's fine. But yeah, when you're importing lumber from Sweden, that really doesn't make sense. And it's never made sense how we can import something like lumber that we've got here in the United States, how we can bring it all the way from Sweden across the ocean and it still be cheaper than what we can do it for here in the United States. It just kind of blows my mind. The whole thing too with pork, how Smithfield and China owns Smithfield, how they can raise pigs here, ship them to China, process them, do all that, and then ship it back here, and the pork is still affordable. First off, I don't eat Smithfield stuff because that's a little weird. I'm not big on the Chinese, processing my pork for me. I think it's a little weird that we're sending it over to China and they're doing who knows what to that pork and then sending it back here. So that goes back. Grow your own food. Grow as much of your food as you can. If not, find a local supplier, somebody down the street that is growing their own food. And I made a note, something I thought about earlier and just remembered. Twin Oaks Farm, on the hens will keep the spring. This spring's 18 pullets for household eggs. Great topic on the tariffs. Yes, try to buy American. Yes. I mean, if you could find, there's some stuff, honestly, that you just cannot find that's American made. I mean, like a lot of your plastics and stuff like that, nobody in the United States is making that. Miss Sharon, they keep on, we're going to need our own supply lines. Exactly. I mean, that, bring back the U.S. manufacturing. Yes, it's going to hurt for in the short term. Yes, prices will go up. But the thing is, if you look at it like our grandparents, they would go and work at a factory and put in their 20 to 30 years, something like that, and have a retirement, have a pension and all that stuff, and they could retire and do that. I mean, if we brought that back, people wouldn't have to be going and doing 2 and 3 part-time jobs to make ends meet. They could work at one place their whole time and get a pension and a retirement and be done, and then we could afford stuff. I mean, that's I think that's what we need to go back to, honestly. And then Bill, I worked in the timber industry for many years. We import lumber because we sell our logs as rough timbers as an export. Okay, that kind of makes sense, but I don't understand why we sell rough timbers, why we don't just set up and mill the logs and make it all here and do finished wood here. Yeah, and Miss Sharon is meeting neighbors to help neighbors. Exactly. That's the way to do it. Build your community, know your neighbors, trade with your neighbors, do stuff like that. I mean, and heck, also, if you can, another thing is buy, and we've talked about this before, buy at yard sales, buy at secondhand stores. I mean, yes, if you can't find a certain product and you can find it used that somebody's already paid the tariff on before, buy it used and go on about your day, especially like durable goods and stuff like that. Or buy older stuff that was made a lot better than it is now. So do stuff like that. Let me see. Oops. Most pine comes from Sweden. Regularly $2 board is 6 to 8 from Sweden. See, that's crazy. Now I tell you, we buy all our trim lumber, all our trim stuff, casings, baseboards, all that stuff, crown molding. We buy it from Cox Interiors, which Cox is based out of Campbellsville, Kentucky. Cox, and they might have changed just a little bit, but Cox used to own the land, and they do mostly poplar for their trim. But they own the land and the trees, and they would go out, cut the trees, harvest the trees, bring the logs back, and they would mill everything and make all the finished millwork and everything in-house, all that stuff. So that's all an American-made product that's made like right here in Kentucky. And it's crazy. It's super great quality stuff. That's where we get all our trim, unless we have to match something that came from one of the other lumber yards. I go to Cox straight out and buy their stuff. So Twin Oaks Farm, a local grocery store here in Southeast Ohio, sells Canadian beef. I guess they can buy it cheaper than the local farm raised beef. I guess they can. I don't know. And it comes down to scale on sometimes. So your small local producer is not going to be cheaper than, you know, your commercial, like your Cargill or whatever, the beef producers. It's never going to be cheaper because they got it built on such a scale that they can do it cheaper, just efficiency wise. But you don't know where that beef has come from, anything like that. I would rather buy local or raise my own, and that's what I hope people will move to, and put the big industries out of business would be nice. All right, I got to catch up on this. Yeah, and Shelly, Two Old Crows, Canadian beef is raised on barley and tastes different than ours. That would taste a lot different, I would say, if it's been raised on barley and not grass and corn like here. All right, Twin Oaks Farm. I know the grocery here asks us about buying chickens from us, and we can't sell it cheap enough for the grocery store to buy it. But meat shops buy from us and resell because people will pay for them. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to go in and hit the small producers and stuff like that. That or I mean, I don't think the small producers are ever going to be as efficient, just because the big ones, the big ones are buying in bulk, stuff like that. They're buying thousands of tons of feed and stuff like that at a time, to where the small producers are probably just buying, just buying a ton of feed or 2 tons of feed at a time. So the scale of efficiency on that is something, but there's also something to be said about the small producers for sure. And Shelly, apparently it's okay for cows to fart in Canada, but not here. Yeah, I guess. Well, I tell you what, that new, whoever the new Canadian head guy is, they're putting in some very stupid laws and stuff like that. Like, I saw something, and I don't know if it's a parody or not, but apparently you can't have a lifted truck in Canada and a bunch of stupid stuff like that. The Canadians are just getting ridiculous with some of this stuff. So, all right. So we got a deal with China on the tariffs for 90 days. We'll see kind of how that plays out. And see, a lot of small meat shops can't get meat after all big ag is taken over. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to see the smaller local shops buying, and they're going to have to do like the Angus Association did. Personally, I've eaten all different types of beef, from everything from a Hereford to an Angus to a Holstein to a Jersey and all that stuff. The Angus, the Angus people did that, certified Angus beef. These smaller shops are going to have to do that. They're going to have to do some kind of campaign and get it to where it's like, buy local beef, buy, I don't want to say humanely, but yeah, but I mean, because that sounds a little weird, but locally raised beef, raised the way it's supposed to, but get a thing going to where the people don't look at the price as, like your ribeye might be $1 to $2 more a pound, to buy the local stuff from a small meat shop, as opposed to going to Sam's and just buying the factory meat. So you got to get the value added kind of thing is what you need to do, and do a thing for that. It's just like a lot of people will do. You've got to find that niche and get into value added, and the reason that you need to buy this. So, and not just because if you're always going on price, it's a race to the bottom, because then the cheapest person, that consumer, is going to look at it and be like, hey, I can buy it here the cheapest. I don't care how it was raised, anything like that. I can get my ribeyes $2 a pound cheaper here. Yeah, Bill, more naturally raised. Exactly. And also, while we're on beef and stuff like that, they've come out and said that we're going to have record beef prices this year, that beef is just going to go up and up and up. And I think what they said, I was just glancing at a news article, they said we're at the lowest level of cows in the United States since I think the 1950s. So apparently we're on record low amount of cows in the United States since the 50s. So beef prices are saying that it's just going to go and be record levels. I mean, beef is not going down. It just keeps going up and up. So I'm wondering how high beef will be this year and this fall and stuff like that. And I think they said it was, I forgot. I'll have to find that. I'm not going to quote that. And yeah, Shelly, that's a good reason to raise Katahdin sheep. Exactly. And I tell you what, the Katahdin sheep is right up there with beef. I would almost rather eat it than beef sometimes. And the thing is, it's easy to raise. You don't have to have hundreds of acres to raise sheep. And it's great tasting. They're easy to handle. And as opposed, you know, with a sheep, you could butcher 120, 150 pound lamb as opposed to a 1,200 pound beef. It's going to be so much easier to do that you can do it and just easy. I mean, we butchered 2 lambs a couple weekends ago, did that class, and it was easy. I mean, we were done in less than 8 hours with 2 of those lambs. The only thing we had left to do on it was do the grind and then package everything up. And I didn't really want to do it then. I wanted the people to get out of here early enough and have a good day. Miss Sharon, I wish it was only a couple bucks more per pound. Here it's double that from the grocery store. Dang. I hadn't checked. Honestly, I hadn't checked beef prices from, like Meijer and Sam's and then the local places. I just hadn't looked. I see every now and then, people will post on Facebook some of these small farms buy, your whole cow, your half cow, whatever. I just kind of glance at the prices. Oops. Has anyone heard any more about the push to claim Tweety flu in beef? I have not heard anything about that. I think it kind of died on the vine. I hadn't heard anything about that lately. I'll kind of look and see. And Shelly, the only way to get cheap beef is to buy it at a big box store like Walmart. Yeah, and their whole meat line is yeah. And some of that stuff that I've seen at Walmart and stuff is kind of looks a little funky. I mean, I'll be honest with you. So beef, the only thing we don't raise here, sheep, deep. Yeah. I mean, beef is something hard to raise unless you've got a lot of acreage, stuff like that. I've got 1 cow and a calf out here right now. And honestly, my plan is to send that cow off to my buddy's place, and then we're going to take the calf. And every year when she has a calf, we're going to raise the calf and split the money on it. But honestly, after I heard about the beef prices, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that or not. I'm really debating whether just to keep that calf and feed it out and then put it in the freezer. I'm debating on what I want to do with that now. I'll probably talk to my wife and see what she wants to do about it because I don't want to get to a point. I love beef. I mean, I'm a beef person. I would rather have beef or lamb than anything else, bar none. So I've kind of got to think about what I want to do with that. So, all right. Yeah, Miss Sharon, it's a big no-no for Walmart meat. Who knows where some of that Walmart meat's coming from, honestly. But if that's all you can afford, that's all you can afford. All right. Next on the list, apparently, this is the news headline. White South African refugees arrive in the United States. Okay. 59 white South African refugees arrived in the United States the other day. Apparently, they are targeting and have been targeting white farmers from South Africa. So they've been murdering people, doing all kinds of stuff, and this has been going on quite a while. But apparently Trump fast-tracked the process for these 59 South African refugees to get refugee status and be brought in to the United States. So some people are pissed off. They're like, oh, Trump, that's a racist thing. You're letting all these white refugees in while we've got brown and black and yellow and everything else colored refugees sitting for years and years and not getting in the United States. I don't care what color you are, what nation you're from, any of that stuff. Why are we still letting refugees in? Why can't some of the countries closer to there let refugees in? If you've got Muslim refugees, why are we taking Muslim refugees from their country and bringing them to the United States when there are Muslim countries right next door that they ought to be able to go to? I mean, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier for them to assimilate in another Muslim country right beside them as opposed to the United States. Why are we doing this? It just boggles my ever-loving mind. First, we're paying for all this crap. You know, who's going to take care of these people? You know, you're a refugee, you're coming in, you probably don't have any skills whatsoever to get a job. You don't have a job lined up. You don't have housing, anything like that. Who's paying for that shit? You and I are the ones paying for this. We ought to just nip it in the bud and be done with it. We need to quit being the place where everybody comes and just gets free shit. I mean, I'm kind of tired of paying for all the free shit that people are getting right along with the illegal immigrants and everybody jumping across the border. It's like, stop bringing the refugees in. If we're going to do something, let's bring legal immigrants, take that path. And I think also that if you're going to come in and do that, you have to show some way that you're going to support yourself. You know, there's other countries, I think, like some of the South American countries. One of my friends, they were going to retire and go to, I think it was Belize or something like that. They had to show the government that they had a way to support themselves and they weren't just going to mooch off the government. It's like, you have to show us financially that you're able to live here and you're not going to be a drain on our system. I think the United States needs to go to that. If you're going to come to this country, you need to show that you've got some kind of way to support yourself and some kind of plan to not be a burden on society. I mean, just period, bar none. What are y'all's opinions on this, on bringing all these stinking refugees in? I know Bowling Green is one of the big places. We've got a refugee center here. I'm not for it. I mean, we got all kinds of refugees in Bowling Green, and honestly, it makes me sick every time I see it. It's just like, damn, I'm paying for all this shit, and you and I are paying for it too. So, what are your thoughts on it? I want to catch up on chat real quick. Bill, besides you can graze sheep in your yard and beef is going to tear up the ground. Yeah, I mean, the cattle, you can leave sheep on the ground a little bit longer than you can cattle and not worry about compacting everything. And then also sheep, you can run about 4 sheep to 1 cow as far as area wise and eating and stuff like that. So, I mean, I like the sheep. If I had a lot more acreage, I would probably stick and keep this cow and run the cows and the sheep together. But I just like running the sheep. They're easier to manage too. And as far as handle the sheep, I mean, I could take a grain bucket out there and those sheep will follow me from here to eternity. As long as I've got a grain bucket, they'll come right there. Miss Sharon, right? They say they are farmers. If they come here, who's going to give them land to farm? Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, they're just not going to go out and buy a bunch of land. I mean, they might in the middle of nowhere, but I know farmland around here is not cheap. And Bill, on top of the fact that the white people in South Africa originally came from the UK. Yeah, send their ass back to the UK. Let them be the UK's problem. So, hi, Homestead. Hi, how are you? I have not seen you in here. Glad to have you in here, and I probably butchered your name, but it's good to have you here. Newman, how are you? Newman is in Naples, Italy. What's the weather like in Naples, Italy today? So, all right. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and it is. Who's going to give them some land? they're originally from the UK. Send their ass back to the UK and be done with that. So, I mean, I'm tired of paying for all this crap. Just think, if we took all this stinking money that we're doing with refugees and stuff like that and helped our veterans, just think of how much better it would be. I don't think that we need to help another foreign country or let anybody in the United States that can't support themselves until every veteran has a house and has a job, and every person in the United States has a house and has a job that can have a job, you know, physically, mentally. If they can't have a job, that's fine. We'll take care of those. But any able-bodied person should have a job and should have a house. And until we have that, we don't help any other country or any other illegals, anything like that, and be done with it. Help yourself before you help anybody else. Miss Sharon, what needs to happen is we need to mind our own business. Damn skippy we do. Mind our own business and stay out of everybody else's crap. unless somebody comes over here and starts messing with us, stay out of it. So I guess my comment on the South African farmers was blocked. Oops, let me see. Oops, I don't see it. See if you can put it in there again and use different language. So Newman, gorgeous weather, 70 with a light breeze. Left here in 2008, still the same, frozen in time. Well, that sounds like good weather right there. And Shelly, do you think the South African thing happened because of Musk? Maybe he's pushing for it. It might be. Musk is from there. And of course, hey, Mel, glad to have you here. I hope you're feeling better. But yeah, the thing is, everybody's calling Trump a racist because he let the white people in before he let the brown people in. So they're calling him a racist, everything else. And Musk might have had something to do with it. Who knows? I mean, but my point on it is stop letting these freaking people come in. Shut the whole shit show down for 2 or 3 years and let's see how it goes. That's just my take on it. And let's do it that way. So, yeah, Miss Sharon Shelley, that sounds about right. So, and then the last thing I've got, apparently there's a temporary ceasefire in between India and Pakistan. So, and apparently today they're going to start formal peace talks to, you know, get everything straightened out there. I don't know. Those two countries fight each other like cats and dogs all the time. And they're going to keep fighting each other, cats and dogs, for a while. Who knows? They got a temporary ceasefire, and everything might work out. Heck, who knows? So we'll kind of see what happens with that. And oops, just saying the murders of even the TBF farm workers has been going on for over 20 years. Yeah, and this has been going on a long time. It's always been something. I forgot. I glanced at it and I can't remember the numbers, but it was like white people only make up like 4 or 6% of the population, but they own like 90% of the land in South Africa. So it is, you know, really heavily skewed. And the native South Africans, I think, are pissed off because, you know, the white farmers own all this land and they're not, you know, technically from there. They're imports from the UK. So it's always going to be a shit show down there. And I mean, Africa has always got some kind of crap going on somewhere down there. So my whole thing is just stay out of it. They're always going to be fighting, just like all the Middle East countries. They're always going to be fighting each other. Just stay the hell out of it. Either that or just turn the whole place into a glass parking lot, in my opinion. And then we can have all the oil we want. So who knows? Is it today that Ukraine and Russia are supposed to be in negotiations? Shelly, I don't know. I saw some stuff and I just glanced at it. It was like 11 o'clock last night and I was glancing through the news. I've not looked. I know they're supposed to be doing something, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So, but guys, we're on about 45 minutes and I've got an hour drive on me and to go pick up those granite pieces. But guys, I appreciate it. Don't forget, go to the website, get your tickets for the festival. Also go, if you need first aid and medical stuff, go to the website. We've got all that stuff in stock. Also, pretty soon we're going to have comfrey in stock on the website that we'll have comfrey on there, comfrey cuttings, probably some crowns to sell. And then also we've got, what else is it? Yeah, get your tickets for the festival, all that kind of stuff. And then also, if you want to sign up for the refuge class, there's still some spots left. That is on the website, the red banner at the top. And then Miss Sharon, I get it. I'm pissed about little Billy owning our farmland, but I'm not gonna go to another country. Yeah, exactly. Chantal, I think it's the 15th. Apparently, it might be the 15th when Russia and Ukraine are going to sit down for negotiations. So, Twin Oaks Farm, have a great week. I appreciate it. Guys, I will be back here Friday morning, 8 o'clock. I appreciate it a bunch. And I am going to go to Owensboro and pick up granite and then go set it and have a wonderful day. I hope everybody has a good day. If y'all need anything, run to the website, send an email, and we will see y'all on Friday. Have a good day.